I handed out about 120 of your tapes, and some of them to people with large church groups that swore that they were going to play them for their churches, and a couple of biker groups. One had 100 in it, and another had 120. I gave them 5 of your DVDs, and they guaranteed me this whole group's going to watch them. Some of the guys have been talking about getting them and making copies and passing them out, too, so here's a great opportunity. Can someone
they're scared to death that the Patriots are going to take the Tea Parties back and use them as meeting groups to educate mainline Republicans. That's why all these Republican leaders have been demonizing us and others and saying they've got to keep us out of the Tea Parties. But wonderful, wonderful job that you did.
I just saturated them with your tapes. And let me ask you, can you make a copy out of one of your copies?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what I told them to do, and they said they would.
Of course.
And they were tickled to death to get them. The ones that got them from me, there was only one lady that was a little smarter than everyone else and said she thought she had all the information she needed about what was going on. And I checked her sign. It was okay. She seemed okay. She was just a smarty. And so I went on. Everybody else was shaking my hand, thanking me. They were appreciative of it.
Did you tell them that this will give them the full picture?
Yes, I did. I told them that you know why you're here. If you watch these DVDs, you will know exactly why you're here. It will give you all the missing pieces that you don't have, and I know you don't have them all. No one does. But these DVDs will get you started on the right track. When you
yes, sir.
Make copies if you can. Pass them out. Let your friends see them. Have some friends over at
Well, Tracy, it's what you're saying right now is what scares the globalists to death, because you go wake people up, they wake other people up. The truth's only got to be applied once. Lies have to be applied over and over again, and we're having a devastating effect on these people. Bob Chapman.
I agree, and it's too bad that he wasn't in the right city. Unfortunately, he would have saw the antics of the Democratic operatives. And, you know, that's really foolish, because when you do things like that, you always get discouraged. And, you know, not discouraged, you always get discovered. And, you know, to do that is just really dumb.
Absolutely. Well, Tracy, great job. Anything else?
Oh, well, yeah, I just wanted to say that, I hope it works. I hope they do what they say they were going to. This one biker, he saw me with my bag on the ground, sifting through. I had them all separated out in different baggies. And he said, hey, man, get that up off the ground, set it on my saddlebag here on this big Harley, and had me lean my cane up there. And he said, whenever you're around here, you put that up here and work out of here. Don't you be bending over, stand up. So everybody was very nice, very appreciative of getting these DVDs, and they were chomping at the bit to get home and see them.
Awesome, Tracy. And again, I keep going back to this. We're not hyping this. It's the truth. We are hurting the New World Order. We have the truth. And as the founder of the Texas Rangers said, a man in the wrong can't stand up against a man in the right who keeps on a-coming. And we just got to keep on a-coming, don't we, Bob?
You better believe it. You have to have the perseverance to not let the SOVs get you down.
That'd be a good bumper sticker. Don't let the SOBs get you down. In fact, that's what Hutton Gibson would always say to me. I need to call him up. Boy, he's got to be like 86, 87 now. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with more of your calls. Bob, Mark, Irwin, and others. Stay with us. Final hour coming up. Your phone calls, a guest joining us from prison, if he's able to get through, being held in violation of habeas corpus for exposing payoffs to judges. And this is even starting to get into the mainstream news. It dovetails, for those that can't believe this is going on. 2 judges plead guilty to sending kids to lockup. They're accused of taking $2.6 million in payoffs to put away innocent young offenders. The way Dr. Frederick Whitehurst, former head of the FBI crime lab, put it a few weeks ago here on the show, Bob Chapman, was he thinks in a way things are getting better. He agrees with us. It's just because of the Internet and people not being as naive, we're now finding out just how evil many levels of state, local, and federal and international government are, and that things are actually getting better. We're just discovering how bad things are.
Well, you're right. That situation in L.A., I lived there for 36 years, and a very good friend of mine was one of the top people in the district attorney's office. And in fact, he was very good friends with Johnny Cochran, who's now deceased, who represented O.J. Simpson in his trial, the murder trial. And I knew that this was going on for years, and everybody would just turn their head. And one of the things that I found that really disturbed me were a lot of these judges, federal and superior court judges, people of stature, were alcoholics, drug addicts, and perverts. I mean, I was really shocked. And that enters into their, payoffs and things that they're doing within that L.A. County system. And so I've known for years how rotten it is.
Let's talk to Rob in Florida. You're on the air, Rob. Go ahead.
Alex, thank you very much for taking my call. My name is Rob Tulp. I am giving a report a little bit on the Tea Party movement here yesterday in Collier County, Florida. We had a phenomenal turnout. I am a candidate for the Constitution Party running for Collier County Commissioner District 2. We have 5 different districts, so 5 different commissioners. And a phenomenal turnout yesterday. I was able to speak publicly to the crowd that was gathered, and I had one individual, a local businessman, who just entered the gubernatorial race for Florida only just a couple of days ago. I myself only joined the race for Collier County Commission a week and a half ago.
And whether you win or lose, you win because you get the issues out there, just like Ron Paul did and lost, but now his message is 1,000 times bigger.
Exactly. And I was able to speak to the crowd that was gathered for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I pointed out the fact that both Democrats and Republicans have been sold down the road and disenfranchised by both their parties by pointing out that Bush doubled the size of government in his term and that Obama at least doubled the size of government.
I thought it was triple, but
first year of office. And I said it is time for people in a local government to go back to using the Constitution as our guiding principle on what legislation we enact and which we refuse. And when I spoke this, even though one of my opponents spoke and the candidate for the gubernatorial race spoke, the crowd erupted in incredible applause when I said that it is time for a new party that will actually represent the American people.
Absolutely, and the Republicans are staking their fortune on the Tea Party taking it over, and we're going to end up the same place we are now or worse once they get back in. We have to fundamentally discredit this entire criminal system. I appreciate your call, Rob. That's a great report. Let's throw that comment by the Texas Ranger back there up on screens. This makes me think of Ron Paul and his 30-plus years of perseverance against tyranny. That famous quote about a man in the wrong can't stand up against a man in the right who keeps on coming because it's so important. And that was said by the Texas Ranger Captain W.J. McDonald. Bob Chapman, we'll see you coming up in a few weeks. God bless you, buddy.
Thank you.